Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's stream. We're going to be playing some MSF. I know it's been a little while since we've been able to do some MSF on stream, but we're going to get to it tonight. We're going to do some DD3. We're going to do some Ultimate 7. I think we're going to get in some draft PvP battles too, which I actually really enjoyed the draft PvP mode, so I'm looking forward to doing that. But before we get into any of that stuff, I wanted to quickly go over Iso-8, just because some of the guys in the Alliance were asking about it, and I think it's sort of worth looking at now that we're getting a little closer to it, what it means, why I think they're really bringing this into the game, and why I'm excited about it, because I am excited about it. We're just loading into the game right now. And while we do that, I'm going to go ahead and make our little posts here that we're going live. This is a great offer, by the way, for those of you just joining us. For newer players especially, this is a great 500 shards for 25 bucks. This is a good one. Obviously, as I've said previously, this account is aiming to be a free-to-play account, so I'm not going to take advantage of it on this account, but it is definitely worth getting if you like to buy some of these offers. Hey, Breadman, thanks for following. Welcome to the stream. So, as I said, the first thing I'm going to really cover on tonight's stream is Iso-8. What it means for the community, what it means for the game, and why I think they're bringing it in. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with what Iso-8 is and what it means for the game here. Looks like our game just crashed in the background there, but we're going to bring this forward. So, Iso-8, let's bring this up here. This is the June update that gave us our first introduction to what Iso-8 is going to be in Marvel Strike Force. Iso-8 is something in the Marvel Universe that has shown up in a bunch of different games. It was in the games that I played, it was in Ultimate Alliance as something you could use to differentiate your characters, enhance certain of their stats or things like that. It's going to do something similar here, but why I am particularly excited about it is that this will bring a new aspect to Marvel Strike Force that several other mobile team building games already have. So, for any of you who play more than one mobile team building game, if you play, for example, Disney Sorcerer's Arena, or Raid Shadow Legends, or Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, they already have some mechanics in-game that allow you to differentiate your character from other identical versions of that character. So meaning if I have, for example, Kristoff or Sven in Disney Sorcerer's Arena, and you have those characters also, and we come against each other in Arena or something, depending on what crystal you have equipped to your character, my Kristoff might have more defense than yours, or might have more offense than yours if I'm trying to use the team in a really aggressive way. So Iso-8's going to do something similar to that, but on an even deeper level, because they're adding something called classes. So we're going to scroll down here. So these are the 5 different classes that you can use ISO-8 to go down. The Raider class, the Striker class, the Skirmisher, the Fortifier, and the Healer. And then they just give examples of the Fortifier and the Healer. Fortifier is aimed at making characters tankier, making them more like protectors, whether or not they are protectors to begin with, right? So here you see Fortifier, the level 1 ability for Fortifier is on spawn the character barriers themselves for a % of their max health, right? So you can see if you put that on a character that is already a protector, a character that already has a lot of health, a character like Cull, for example, he's going to get a really big barrier, and it's going to make him that much better of a protector. However, you could also potentially do it for a character that isn't inherently a protector, like Nick Fury, and just give them more survivability. Conversely, the next class they show us is Healer, and Healer, it looks like, does something similar, except they're in this case, they're healing another character. In this case, it's the character with the lowest health, and they're gaining max health themselves. So again, in this case, they showed it can be applied to Nick Fury also. So you can use your Nick Fury more in a support role for your other characters, or you can just make him beefier and harder to take down, depending on which class you go down. And again, the same thing applies here. Like if you were to go with the Healer class on a character who's already a support who heals, it'll just make them better at doing their job. But you could also, for example, throw this on a character who's a protector, who already is tough to take down, and now that character will help gird their teammates against damage and keep them up longer. So I really like this because I've always liked in games the flexibility to sort of make a team my own and change the playstyle a little bit based on my preferences. So I think that this brings that to the game. It also makes it so that the teams don't feel so cookie cutter. You know, for instance, if you are a level 75 character who's been playing the game for a number of years, very likely where you are in Arena, most of the teams you're going to see on Arena Defense are Black Order, because it's just such a strong team. But they're all essentially the same, so it just comes down to who has the highest power rating for Black Order. With the introduction of ISO-8, that's going to change a little bit. It's going to matter now how you're building the characters. You're going to have more choice, you're going to have more input, and it can potentially change your ability to punch up or punching down doesn't really matter, but how much you can punch up with your teams based on the ISO-8 of the team you're attacking into, and based on the ISO-8 that you have for your characters and their classes. And the other cool thing is that the ISO-8 is not going to compete with gear as far as gold or things like that. ISO-8 is going to use a new type of currency called ions, in addition to, what are they called? I don't know if they're called crystals. Yeah. So you're going to need crystals and you're going to need ions, both of which are going to be attainable through an entirely new campaign that's being added. You can see that here. They're going to be adding it. So you'll see you've got Mystic Forces Rising. We also have Doom War, which I think is going to end up sitting to the right of ISO-8, and then you're going to have the ISO-8 campaign. So I'm excited about it. I think it's going to bring a lot of new, interesting gameplay to the game, and I think they're a little behind the times with this, because, like I said, so many other mobile team building games have some degree of customization. They have mods in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. They have the crystals in Disney Sorcerer's Arena, and Raid Shadow Legends. You can customize their entire gear set. So I think they really needed to introduce something that gave a little more flexibility to the game, and I think that this is it. Yeah, it's just like mods in I mean, not just like, but it's similar to mods in Galaxy of Heroes. How you doing, Zappers? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I was just saying, you're going to be able to basically choose a subclass. You're going to be able to choose a subclass for your character in Marvel Strike Force once they add ISO-8. So, in addition to being either a blaster, or protector, or support, things like that, you can choose from these 5 classes: Raider, Striker, Skirmisher, Fortifier, Healer, and it'll add new abilities for your character based on how far you advance the ISO-8 of the class, like this. So I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be great. And I know some people sort of rolled their eyes when they announced, like, oh, yet another thing that you have to farm. But like I said, it's going to be a whole different campaign. It's going to be a whole different currency. So I'm really not worried about it. I think it's only going to be good, and it's going to enhance gameplay. So that's that. Now that we got that out of the way, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm jumping into Dark Dimension 3. I'm going to try to beat this node. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it. I should be able to finish this node. This is node 5 for me in Dark Dimension 3. So why don't we jump into this? At this point, I need to be using global characters that are gear tier 14 for this node. So I'm going in with Cyclops, War Machine, Phoenix, and Colossus. The two that are like hugely recommended for this node, for these nodes that require global, are Phoenix and Colossus. Outside of that, you have some flexibility, but those two are the recommended ones. Okay. I friggin' hate Loki's stealth, but we're gonna have to deal with it. We're gonna use War Machine's special there just so we can splash some damage onto Mr. Sinister. I really want to get rid of him because he keeps doing this and bringing my Phoenix up, which sucks. I'm gonna taunt on Colossus. It doesn't matter. Alright, so we're gonna throw damage all over the place with War Machine there, with his ult. We will use Cyclops' special, which pulled Sinister out of stealth, but he still healed a bunch, which sucked. Okay, so we got defense down on everybody. We're now going to throw Phoenix's special, and you're going to see a ton of damage. Oh, awesome. We got rid of Loki. That was a big deal. I don't think we're going to make much more headway, but I'm just glad we took Loki out because he's been such a pain in my ass doing this node. This is going to be a tough nut to crack because Sinister just keeps healing, and he's such a pain in the ass. But taking out Loki was important. I think I'm gonna make another attempt on this. I'm not gonna bring back War Machine though. We'll take him out. Okay. So I'm gonna hold off on using Optic Blast because I want to wait until they all have defense down. But I am gonna hit Mr. Sinister with that defense down. Well, you figured out a new toy, huh? What'd you figure out? Alright, so Cyclops got offense up when Jean died and became Dark Phoenix. And she applied defense down, so now his Optic Blast is going to do a shit ton of damage. Boom. And then she's going to hit them all. Ah! And we got rid of friggin' Sinister. Alright, so, and then she's going to get rid of Strife. Yup. And we cleared it. Nice. You can now connect channel points to manipulating your animations and more. That's awesome. Look at those rewards. Gold, gold, gold. This next reward is great rewards, but we're not going to start that tonight. Now when they ask for Dancing Vader, they get it. I don't have to do anything. That's awesome. You need to put it all together, but you can do it now. That's awesome. Did you have to use a third-party thing, or were you able to just incorporate it right with your stream? Alright, let's jump into Ultima 7 now. Assuming it's up, I think it is. Yup. Alright. It's a plugin? Very cool. Alright, I'm in lane 1 as usual. Oh, really? Switch right from Streamlabs. You're just doing base OBS Studio? What am I doing here? Get out of here. We will use Ebony Maw. And Black Bolt. Now, you know what? I'm actually going to use Hela. Let's go with Minerva, Carnage, and Symbiote Spidey. At least the broadcast software using your add-ons via browser source plugins. Cool. Should you continue upgrading Wave 1 Avengers or hold off for other teams? They're all level 50 in Tier 6. I would keep pushing their gear tier up, Fred. If you don't want to level them up and spend the gold right now, you're probably fine with where you are. Alright, we're going to start out focusing Pyro as usual to get rid of that bleed. I'm going to throw a ton of bleed with Carnage here. And he will bleed to death so we can move on. We're going to have to focus on their protector for a moment. Throw those debuffs on. We can spread the debuffs with Hela's ult. And then we'll use Minerva's ult. How are your Guardians coming along there, Brad? We're just gonna basic attack the rest of the way through this node. With the exception of Greg, because he doesn't matter. We'll get rid of him. That's a ton of bleed. We can probably leave that alone. Hey, PG. Yeah, I saw that after I did it. Way to call it out! Sometimes my trigger finger moves faster than my mouth. Thank you, Steve. Good to see you, man. We're gonna do some draft PvP in a bit. I just want to knock out my Ultimate 7 nodes. You've got Drax, Mantis, and Groot. You're just missing Gamora and Rocket. Haven't put anything into Drax yet, though. That's going to be another good team for you to use, Bread. And on top of getting you your first legendary in the form of Star-Lord, they're also going to be really valuable for you for Dark Dimension 1 when you're ready. So I definitely recommend you chasing them for a bit, now that you have a solid Wave 1 Avengers team going. So again, I'm going to stick with the same team. This is a really good team to use. Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage have amazing synergy, especially in raids, because Symbiote Spidey will heal himself and Carnage whenever negative effects get put on enemies. They both put negative effects on enemies. Hela can spread negative effects. Ebony Maw puts negative effects, and he's a solid healer and provides buffs for the team. And then Minerva's obviously one of the best healers in the game and provides bleeds, which also synergize with Carnage and Symbiote Spider-Man. And she has the AoE that does percent damage. Yeah, they also both get drain, which is awesome. So this is a really solid Ultimate 7 team. Ebony Maw is somebody that not all you guys will have. You can replace him with Venom pretty easily. Ooh, I actually took him out by accident. Again, there I go with that quick trigger finger, but I'll be fine. Watch me 4-man this. So strong. But you could use Venom in that spot. If you don't have Hela yet, I'm trying to think of another really good... obviously, you can use Scientist Supreme as another great option. She throws negative effects everywhere. Yeah, Bread Carnage is great. Black Bolt is another good choice, Steve. In fact, I sometimes use him. I like to switch between him and Hela. Black Bolt is a really strong option for a number of reasons, but I just like how Hela synergizes specifically with symbiotes really well. Throw a big bleed on this Carnage over here. Congrats. Yeah, I love Black Bolt. I didn't anticipate how much I was going to love Black Bolt until I got him. He's really good. You've started using Symbiote Spidey, Shuri, Black Bolt, Ultron, and Yo-Yo. That's another good lineup. I think I'm going to be alright despite derping into this with only 4 characters, just because this is a punch down for me. Him and Minerva, because with symbiotes they get few turns, but their passives are amazing. Truth. Truth. There we go. With all the negative effects that are going around, you'll see that the symbiotes almost never are below full health. It's pretty absurd. We're just going to basic attack our way through the rest of this just to conserve cooldowns. That is true. Carnage can hamper energy regen for everyone except himself and Symbiote Spider-Man. But that's why I prefer to use them on teams where the two of them are the primary damage carries. Alright, first boss node here. We're going to make sure we actually have a full team. Herpy Derpy. We're not going to waste Phoenix this early. By the time I get to the third boss node, assuming I haven't lost anyone crazy, I just switch up to Phoenix. And it really doesn't matter. Who would be a good fit for the rest of Sinister Six till I get Swarm, Electro, Doc? You're missing Mysterio. So you're saying you don't have Mysterio, but there's just someone you can add to the team in the interim? Since you're missing the rest of the Sinister Six team, what level are you at, Brad? Just because that the level you're at is going to specifically change what your best options are. So Scientist Supreme is a perfectly acceptable option. You could also potentially use Carnage once you get him, because you're pretty close to Carnage. I'd have to specifically look at the Sinister Six kits again, but I do believe that negative effects are part of their kits, and so any team that puts negative effects is a team that can synergize well with Carnage. I'm gonna go ahead and throw bleeds on Punisher here. After Punisher's damage increase, he is finally a genuine threat. He's not like a Black Order level threat, but he's a genuine threat. We're going to go ahead and extend this bleed to make sure that that's enough to off Iron Fist. Yeah, I think Carnage is a fairly good choice, Brad. I don't think you'll regret that choice. Especially because, as I've said previously, especially for newer players, whenever possible, you should be investing in characters that they check as many boxes as possible. They satisfy as many different avenues as possible. So investing in Carnage will help you early by giving you a fifth member you can use with your Sinister Six team, but more importantly, you'll be building Carnage towards the eventuality of using him for Dark Dimension 3 down the road. You're a long way away from that, but the point is, instead of having lost leaders that you invest points in and then have to leave behind, like defenders, having characters that you will continue to prioritize into the late game is a much better strategy if it's available to you. Typically, because I have a deep enough roster of high power characters, I sub. Very rarely will I revive, and usually only if I feel like I need to clear a node. So for example, if I were to lose Minerva before the third boss node, I would probably shift away from her, but then when I got to the third boss node, I'd revive her to use her for that. But if you don't need a character to clear a node, if it's not going to completely screw up your team meta, I generally will recommend swapping, because it's also just more fun to play with different characters. So I'll use this team until I usually, if I lose people, it's usually at the second boss node, and I'll lose a couple. I'll lose like 2 or 3, and at that point I'll change to a complete different team until I get to the third boss node, and then I'll decide who I want to bring back, if anybody. So this node, this Star-Lord boss node, is where I may lose some people, and then have to change up before I get to the Vision boss node. You lose Minerva all the time, you're thinking Shuri. Shuri's a good option. I like Minerva because I tend to play a very aggressive playstyle. So I feel that for a support character, Minerva's damage is superior. I also really like the revive for when I need it. But obviously if you're losing Minerva before you can use it, it's not super helpful. Oh no, you notice it. The regeneration, it matters. From Ultron, the Ultron minion regeneration is significant. And not only is it significant, but obviously you're stacking on those buffs for Ultron. Yeah, whatever, we're just gonna basic attack. You love Minerva, but you ever T14. It seems like she's made of paper, a little bad RNG, and she's done. Yeah, so I mean, you need to bolster her. You can't leave her to stand on her own defenses. It's important to try to get defense up on her whenever you can. It really depends on the node, and it depends on the team you're running. I typically don't run her alone without another support because she is squishy, so I can't rely on her self-healing her way through things. I need someone else to support her. But by the time you get to the later nodes, if she gets a defense down like that, you're gonna lose her. It's gonna happen. So it's about trying to line yourself up that, or pair her with Yo-Yo. You're not wrong, so that enemies get offense down and do less damage. But even then, in the later nodes, I've noticed, then it could just be that my my Yo-Yo isn't particularly strong, but that shouldn't really matter. And even then, in the later nodes, I find that I can still lose Minerva also. But that's why in those nodes that I know are problematic, I save characters like Phoenix to throw in. That make a world of difference. So you know what I'm actually going to do when I get to that node? I am going to show you an example where I might switch out to make sure I don't lose her. Also, do not underestimate the power of slow. Action economy is king, and being able to slow down the rate at which enemies attack also limits the total number of attacks they get, and therefore makes a huge difference for your sustainability. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. If you've got Yo-Yo sitting at 72k, I definitely understand why you'd use her all the time, but I do agree that Black Bolt really makes her shine. Alright, so I think that Crossbones will likely bleed out. We're gonna kill Greg anyway just to feed Minerva energy. There we go. We'll switch targets now. Get that defense up and throw defense down on the enemies and offense down. Perfect. I love characters that apply defense down with their basic. Symbiote Spider-Man is one of the few that does, but She-Hulk is going to be doing that also, and since she's going to primarily have a place on the Young Avengers team, she's going to make that team so much more viable. She does other stuff too, but that ability is crazy. I love it. Alright, we're gonna save Minerva's ult for the next node. Just basic attack our way through here to get through this one. Alright, so for this next node, I'm going to change up the team comp a little bit here. We'll go ahead and purchase the energy just to do it so I can show some of the young guys. I'm going to keep Symbiote Spider-Man, but I'm going to move them around a little bit. I'm going to throw Symbiote Spidey over here. And then I'm actually going to pick up Shuri for this one. Where's my girl? Shuri. So now we're going to have sustain from 3 characters, and then the self-sustain between the symbiotes. And they will carry the damage for the team. I'm not sure what the unlock for She-Hulk's going to be. Does anybody know that? I didn't know if they... I don't think they announced that yet, did they? I thought they just announced her kit, but they didn't announce what you need for her. Put my footrest here. Alright. Alright, so right away we're going to throw that defense up on the team to help everybody out. We obviously have no choice but to focus on Drax because of that opening taunt. But we're going to hit him pretty hard and extend the duration of the bleeds. And then we're going to go ahead and ult with Minerva to throw bleeds across the board there. And we will wipe out Drax in short order. You can see the amount of incoming damage is negligible because of that defense up. Alright, I want to take Star-Lord out next just because I don't like the energy, the ability feed he gets. We will defense up again with Shuri. I don't need the heal, so I'm not going to worry about it. That might bleed him out, so we'll move on. Take out Spidey and throw some more bleed on Gamora. I'm going to take out Loki next. We will probably lose Ebony Maw here, but I'm not worried about it because we can bring him back with Minerva's special. We may not lose him because of the feed there. We'll see. Yeah, no, I think she saved them. Look at that. Whew. And then we'll just go ahead and top people off with his ultimate there. Gotta wipe out Spidey. And again, defense up. So Ebony Maw and Shuri on this comp are throwing defense up, keeping Minerva safe. She's not going to get anything, so I'm not going to waste her special this turn. Alright, three targets left. We're just going to basic attack our way through them. And so you see we didn't lose anybody now. Just by making that change to the team comp, we were able to push through this pretty easily. We're going to save all our cooldowns. Nice. Alright, so we're going to move away from Ultimate 7. We're actually going to jump into some draft PvP right now. I know people have very mixed feelings about draft PvP, but I personally am a fan. I like it. Where are we? Events. We're gonna ban stupid characters because I ain't afraid and I like playing with legendaries. Yeah, I was thinking she might be a Blitz character too. PG. We get that Phoenix ban out the gate. That makes sense. And Ultron. Okay. We're going to go ahead and snatch up Black Bolt. Smartass took Taskmaster for me. He was going to be my next choice. looks like he knows what he's doing, but that's okay. We're gonna pick up Ebony Maw and Emma. You haven't unlocked it yet, Brad. This is a higher level thing. Captain Marvel makes sense, makes sense. We're going to pick up Mr. Sinister. And Cull. So now, depending on who he bans from my team, if he bans Ebony Maw, I'll make a different choice. But if he bans Black Bolt, I'm going to pick up Thanos. He banned Emma. Interesting. I'm going to ban Taskmaster. Taskmaster is actually incredibly strong in PvP. Thanos it is. Between Thanos and Cull, I have two insanely strong tanks on this team. Okay, interesting choice. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and taunt with Thanos so that Captain Marvel doesn't delete Sinister. There you go. We're going to go throw debuffs on our enemies here. Look at that damage. Oh, take it. Lost hella. We'll use Black Bolt special there. I'm not going to waste the clone on Drax. Yeah, why not? We'll just heal. I'm gonna gain taunt here with Cull. Ooh, she cleared it. I still have it on Thanos. We'll go ahead and use the Health Steal heal. We'll use Black Bolt's ult, which got rid of Minerva and severely weakened Nick Fury, which his passive took care of. At this point, I think I'm gonna clone Drax just for insult and taunt with him. Bad manners, Dan. Bad manners. Look at that handy victory. Boom! Flawless! Good game, good game. Let's try another one. Alright, Stupid bends again. Here we go. Alright, we got stupid bans for the other person too. It looks like this is going to be a good game. We're going to gobble up Phoenix. They'll probably end up banning her, but we'll see. But we're going to gobble her up just in case, because if we don't, they probably will. Zemo is an interesting choice. Ebony Maw is acceptable. We're going to go with Black Bolt. And we're taking Taskmaster this time. Red Skull, really? Alright, I guess. We're going to grab Yo-Yo, because we're not going with a Protector on this team. And then we're going to pick Mr. Sinister. That is a weird comp. Who are we gonna lose? Black Bolt. Alright, reasonable. I'm gonna get rid of Ebony Maw. Ultron doesn't scare me. Alright. We're gonna go with Hela. That is a really weird team comp he picked. It's not that they're not strong characters, I just don't know how they fit together. I mean, Ghost Rider fits with Carnage. Ultron stands on his own legs, I get that. Zemo's okay, but Red Skull was a strange choice. Zemo does a lot of damage, but we may lose Sinister out the gate, which is unfortunate. This weird comp may be a winning comp. A little nervous there. I think Zemo's got to be my first target. I'm just going to use the ult for the damage, even though I'm not spreading anything. Then we're going to blind people. There we go. That's important. And suck all those debuffs, which will automatically give us Dark Phoenix, who will dump a ton of damage there. We are going to clone Ultron. Yeah, no, it ended up not being a winning comp. Ah, we got the forfeit victory. I was hoping to be a little farther along in this milestone, but it is what it is. Let's take a look at Arena here. I think I'm gonna try to punch it to this one. Okay. I'm gonna spread some debuffs. Slow the enemy team. We're going to extend the defense up on Colossus there. As we were expecting, Ultron ulted on Phoenix to give us Dark Phoenix. The ability block sucks a little bit, but it is what it is. I'm going to throw a basic out that way. Clear a bunch of positive effects. Optic Blast. Oof. Poor Cyclops. I'm going to taunt with Colossus though. Let's go ahead and use the health steal to heal some of our peoples. Alright, now we have to try to burn down the enemy Phoenix as quickly as possible. I don't know if we can win this. It's gonna be tight. Oh, come on! Alright, we took him out. Oh! Hit so hard. And that lost it. Damn it! Alright guys, I think that is enough for tonight's stream. Unfortunately, the Wednesday streams are probably going to only be about an hour moving forward for a while just because of work, having to wake up early for field work. Do you guys have any questions for me before I wrap up the stream tonight? Yeah, definitely get screenshots over to me, and we can do a roster review at some point if you want to. Yeah, I get it. I hear you. Thank you very much, Britt, and thank you for following, man. Keep asking any questions you have. Always happy to help you grow. On that note, thank you to all of you who showed up for tonight's stream. And I will see you guys for the... can I stream this Saturday? It's a good question. I think I can. I'll keep you guys posted. In the meantime, have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I will talk to you all very soon.